Well, welcome into the Mad Monday podcast on a Wednesday it's Thursday. Bloody hell. I've already done a podcast today and I did the exact same mistake this morning.
It's because of Easter, Manaia.
It's because of Easter.
Yeah,
Shortened
man.
week, so only the one podcast this week as well, and it is coming out today on the Thursday. It's my pleasure to welcome in Anan Whenua Keezy. G'day, mate.
G'day, guys. Nice to be here. And just quickly touching on the one podcast this week's situation. Tuesday, it was like, should we do a podcast? Yeah, I'm keen. I said I'll do it.
Yeah.
Di was away, Ben's away on tour, you were
Sick.
COVID-riddled,
Yes.
and so the pants man, the notorious pants man, Joel Harrison, he put up his hand and said, yeah, stuff, I'll jump in with you. And I was like, yeah, love chatting with the pants man, we're all geared up, good to go. And then a message from Manaia, Lane says, don't worry about it. And I can only assume it's once he heard it was me and the pants man, his confidence is shot.
Well, the thing is, it was supposed to be me and the Pants Man today.
Right.
But yeah, I was just like, sorry, Pants Man, we're going to have to do it with Chris.
You should, because he's a guy who, it's hard to rattle the pants man, but he was genuinely a bit rattled by it. He was like, I guess I'm not, I guess G-Lane doesn't think I'm good enough to, I'm like, yeah, to be honest, neither do I.
No, and I think the listeners would agree.
Yeah, we dodged a bullet there.
Absolutely, man. We dodged 2 bullets. He could have been on today as well. So I think we're all grateful that the giraffe from the mascot race at the Warriors wasn't in here. That was him, by the way.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah. The mascot race. We'll get into it shortly. Of course, this podcast, as always, brought to you by 4 and 20 Pies, perfect at-home snack for watching rugby league. Chris and I have just had a couple of 4 and 20 Pies for lunch.
Delicious.
The Mad Monday Munters Facebook group is live as well, so go and check that out. Facebook.com/groups/Odenrhine. SuperCoach is back for 2024 as well. You can make sure that you join that. It's in the Facebook group. Otherwise, 287-823 for you who have just started listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
Play SuperCoach.
If you've already got a SuperCoach team and you're not currently in our group, just jump in. We've got I think about 400 people in there maybe.
Yeah.
300 and something, 400, and the winner gets a signed Warriors jersey, which is bloody sweet. So.
Beautiful. All right, let's rip straight into a review of the Warriors game. It seems a while ago now.
It was
on
like
Saturday.
5 days.
Yeah, I know.
What's today? Thursday?
Yeah, so you're having the same problem I've been having. I was at the game. I went along. Got some great tickets. I was sitting just behind Sean Johnson's missus.
Oh, really?
Yep.
How was she?
Fine. She
Can't say his missus is fine, man. Can't hit on Sean Johnson's missus, Kayla, on a podcast like that, man. That's bad.
Kayla is her name. No, well, it was only because my missus was sitting next to me and she was just like,
How is your missus?
she was like,
She's fine.
she's
Sorry, carry on. You're all good.
she kept elbowing me and going, I think that's Sean Johnson's missus. Like, oh, it is.
Yeah.
She looked like someone watching their partner play sport. She didn't look like a massive Warriors fan, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, well, that's work for them, isn't it?
yeah, it was like, if your missus, how is she, by the way?
She's great.
Good.
It's her birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Lucy.
Yeah.
It'd be like her watching you come. In fact, she's come and watched you play social sport before.
Yeah, loves it.
Yes. Well, actually, she was more animated than Sean Johnson's missus was.
Right, well, because Sean Johnson's missus Kayla, obviously, Silver Fern as well, professional netballer for a long time. So this is just them. It's like you and I, if we were married and I'm coming to watch you do a podcast.
Yeah.
Like with your kids and you're just watching dad do a podcast.
Well, this is the thing about podcasts. The great thing is you can watch them from wherever you are around the world, and both of our partners still don't.
Right,
So
yeah, no,
that's
not
how little I care. But look, enough about the sideline. I really enjoyed watching the game. We had great seats, very quite low on the sideline.
That's kind of what you want there, I reckon.
It is. I think so too. And you will give up the Marcelo Montoya try in the far left corner to be able to watch the Bradman Best try front and centre. And it was, to be able to see these guys, there are peaks and troughs throughout a game where the crowd's up on their feet, they're roaring, they're yelling, then they're quiet. In the quiet times, Marata Niukore killed someone on defense. He hit them so hard, and it was meat on meat, and it echoed. It was that loud.
Wow.
It was so good. If you haven't been along to a game, go and get along this season. Because I know a lot of Warriors fans have only ever been to like one game or haven't even been to a game at Mount Smart. It's so worth it. But the meat on meat, it was a sound I haven't heard since the freezing works. It was the sound of a carcass coming down the rail and hitting the other backed up carcasses, and it was just bang.
Yeah, and you're there ready to bone it.
Yeah, I got my knives out, quickly confiscated, and I was asked to leave. But the point I'm trying to get to is I think it's one of those games that's so much better in person.
It is, and so
I'm not telling you anything you don't know.
No, of course, and I agree. The atmosphere, especially because I wasn't there at the weekend, I was down in Christchurch, but the opening game, which Di and I commentated from the box up there, shit, like the lights out, the fireworks giving everyone a heart attack because they were so hearty, like atmosphere, incredible. The only thing is when you're doing a podcast like this, I find myself having to come home and then watch the game again on TV.
Oh, if you've done commentary, man?
Yeah, or if you've done commentary, or if you've just watched the game live at the ground.
Same.
I have to then come home and watch the full game again properly on TV and just so I can notice everything. That's the only takeaway. But hey, watching a game twice, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's right. So 20-12 in the end, only because of how tight last week's game got, did people feel quite tense about this game?
Yes, and especially that towards the end there when Roger just stopped that Ponga break, he put Tuala, it was running down the sideline, and then Tuala passed it to Ponga. Ponga went back to pass it back, and Roger slapped the ball down just. Otherwise, it would have been 2018.
I know, but I just feel like there was a tension there. This is how the Melbourne Storm came back to beat us as well.
Yeah.
There was just a tension there that we didn't deserve, I don't think, because the game was pretty well sewn up, I thought.
And it's also a tension that it's just from historically the Warriors being ahead and the last five.
Well, it's a traumatised fan base out there.
It is, yeah, absolutely. So I can understand that.
Beaten dog syndrome. I want to start with the biggest talking point of the week. Everyone's talking about it, and it is, everyone's been talking about it since he announced he was coming back from rugby union. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck looked great at fullback.
Yeah. What's your point on this then?
Do you think that changes your mind, or do you think that it would even change Webby's mind as to whether he should play fullback going forward?
So do you think Roger playing one game and playing solidly changes Webster's mind as to whether the Dally M fullback of the year could possibly be a good fit at fullback? Is that the question?
No, whether it changes his mind of Chance being our default fullback.
I think what has to happen for that is for Chance to come out and be shit, which isn't going to happen. The thing is, you can't, and I was having this, so Jace was trying to wind me up.
Jason Hoyt.
Yes, by saying that RTS needs to be at fullback. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It was the first game he's watched all season.
Right.
And I was like, did you watch the entirety of last season?
Yeah.
Chance, Sean, that right side, Rocco, it was incredible. You can't mix that up just for some, and Rog was awesome. I mean, he had one drop ball, that was pretty much it, but his defense and his run, his hit-ups and stuff, excellent.
Yeah.
You can't change all that and undo one of the best right side attacks in the entire competition just because Roger's the man. If
we were playing against a team who had brought back a Dally M fullback of the year, would we prefer that team played that fullback at fullback or played them at centre? I think if we were playing against them, we'd be like, oh, thank God they've put him at centre. I don't want him to be at fullback.
It depends who it is, though.
What if it was Roger Tuivasa-Sheck?
So I would prefer they had Rog at fullback rather than that right side attack we've got. Because it is
if
clicking.
You're playing against us. Yeah,
so the ball goes to Sean Johnson. He's got two back rowers running all sorts of lines. He's got skip ball out to Chance. He can step and go himself. Like, the possibilities there are crazy.
Yeah.
I would prefer Roger at fullback because it's easier to defend against one. Well, it's not easy because he's a freak show, but it's easier to defend against one guy rather than that entire side.
And that, I think, I agree with you. And I think that is the key point that you said then, and I've been saying this about Tane Tuopiki as well, is he has played great for Tane, but it doesn't make the team necessarily any better.
It's the link play, man. It's that Sean Johnson not even looking, just throwing a ball to where he knows Chance will be. It's that shit right there.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. I'm very happy that Chance is going to be back this week. I've still got his drink bottle. I'm holding on to it. If he was out another week, I was going to drive it out to him.
Oh, he left it at Hallenstein's.
Left it at Hallenstein's. We talked to him the other day. And
did you get some of his DNA off it?
I haven't yet.
Yeah.
But I like to think of it as, like Michael's secret stuff in Space Jam.
Yeah.
And if any local club out there needs it or needs me to steal Chance's talent and come and play fullback for you.
Or if you're halfway through a shocking podcast, you can have a hoon on it and then save it.
Let's see how this one goes.
If you're having a pants man of a podcast.
I thought Wigan looked deadly as well. It was great to have him back.
Yeah, that try he set up for Chanel Harris-Tavita. And it was shit defence for who's the starting Saifidi brother? Jacob, yeah. God, that was pathetic. But Wade Egan showed him up, ran half the length of the field, put Chanel over for his first try back as a Warrior.
Yeah,
so good, eh?
It was, but that's what that is what Wigan does.
Yeah,
he puts so much pressure on those markers that if you just look over your shoulder, all of a sudden he's right up in your grill.
And he's looking at you, and you know he's got the no-look scucky pass too. So,
Yeah, and the thing is, what makes him, and I think we said this on the podcast last week, what makes him so much more deadly is having chance right up his ass.
Yeah.
When he's doing that stuff. He looked incredible. That try came out of absolutely nowhere.
That's right.
And to be able to have those kind of players, that's big for us.
It is big. And what was great, and we're probably not going to see it all that often, is, and it was not great, but Metcalf going off meant CHT came on and Wade Egan played the full game.
Yeah.
So he was just full-blown Wade Egan the whole time. It was excellent.
Not great for anyone of those players personally.
No.
But for us as a fandom, it was great. Yeah, you mentioned that. It was a hell of a tackle. I thought he'd broken his bloody back or something. Tyson Frizzell hit him so hard. This was another one that echoed around the stadium.
Yeah, and he's built like a Ninja Turtle, Tyson Frizzell. His head even kind of looks like a Ninja Turtle head. And he shot out of the lines because it was Wade Egan that put him into a scucky little gap, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or was it Sean Johnson? I can't remember, but there was a great little gap there, threw it to, and it was almost as like he thought Metcalf was a front rower or something.
Yeah.
Metcalf collects the ball.
And Frizzell's eyes lit up.
And he gets poleaxed as soon as he catches the ball. But I didn't think the injury matched what I saw of the tackle.
I agree, yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a rib gone.
Yeah.
But he got up to, no, he broke his leg.
It was Frizzell's knee that hit his leg.
Oh, is that what it was?
And so he's out. And so that brings me to the next big point is CHT was the one who was called on to play the rest of the game.
And he looked great. He scored a try. He put a beautiful kick over to Montoya, setting up another try. He looked excellent.
He said he was buggered as well doing it because he just didn't know how long. Because he'd been training to come on and play dummy half.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of people in the Mad Monday Munters group have been calling for. And so he thought he was going to come on and play 10 minutes just to spell Wigan. But what actually happened was he had to come out and play like 80 to spell a broken leg on Metcalf. We're going to get into a preview later on, but just quickly, Tamati Martin's been named.
Yeah.
Would you have gone CHT over Tamati to start?
I think what we do is we forget. Do you remember early in the season, Tamati Martin spent most of last season in a moon boot?
Yes,
remember?
With a broken leg.
But early in the season, the wires were starting to click, and it was Sean and Tamati in that right side.
Yeah.
And when he got injured, I was like, shit. That was going so well, and then this guy Metcalf came in, who we'd heard was pretty good, but was still untested, blah, 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 blah. And then Metcalf got better.
Yep, then did his hammy.
And then, yeah, exactly. So I think Tamati, he had a couple of shaky games towards the end there, but I think if he's fully fit and up to scratch. And the other thing for me, too, is I just fully trust Andrew Webster.
Yeah.
He's just so good that I'm just like, wow, he's obviously seen something I don't,
Yeah.
So... To be honest, it did surprise me though, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too. We'll get into a preview later on, but I just wanted to talk about Jackson Ford. We have, and I keep forgetting who this is, but there's a Tekken 2 character that he looks like.
Oh, Gun Jackson Ford.
Gun Jackson Ford. He has been absolutely outstanding.
He has been.
From a SuperCoach perspective as well.
Yeah.
It's translating into stats.
He's just getting... The thing with Jackson Ford is no one ever doubted his ability to just be a solid as back row, run great lines, tackle.
Yeah.
But it's his stupid mistakes he makes. He's a shocker for the occasional, like one a game, real bad mistake, but he's kind of knocked that on the head a wee bit this year.
He's good for a knock-on.
Yeah.
He's great for a knock-on.
Yeah, and that's why that try that he almost didn't score,
yeah,
I was like, oh, God, it's Jackson Ford. He's probably stuffed this. Oh, no, he scored. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, what an embarrassment of riches we have in second row.
It's
so
disgusting.
Much that we're playing them in the middle. They're spelling some of our middles as well.
Capewah's out, Marata Niukori's in. Like, doesn't even matter.
I know. And we keep wanging on about, God, how do you fit all these guys on the field? Well, it's a violent, brutal sport. There are going to be injuries, and when there are, we've never been this deep as a team. The game itself, I thought we did a good job of shutting Ponga down. Sean Johnson to start the game was kicking them. I don't know if he was doing this on purpose or if Ponga was standing too deep, but the first 3 kicks that Johnson kicked, they all fell short.
That must have been a
Ponga.
tactic.
Yeah.
Surely.
I think so too, and it wrong-footed him. The kick chases were great as well, and it just meant he couldn't get up and about.
Having said that, though, Ponga in the first half made like 3 massive breaks.
Yes.
And once again, SuperCoach-wise, I think he had 80 fantasy points at halftime. So just from line breaks, setting up tries, blah, 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 blah. But the thing I noticed with Ponga, too, was the second half, other than the amazing Bradman Best grubber to Bradman where he scored in the corner, He looked gassed almost. He looked like he's still trying to get his fitness up, Kalen Ponga.
He did. I thought that in person as well. He was sort of squatting down behind the play quite a bit.
And one of the massive breaks he made, he caught the ball from fullback, ran like across the field, and then made a sweet break, and then looked around, no one was with him, and he almost just like surrendered himself.
Yeah.
To get tackled, so he seems a wee bit gassed.
At the end of the game, he completely did surrender himself. He surrendered. He fielded the ball in goal and dove out of the in goal into the field of play.
That's right, yeah.
And stayed down. No one touched him.
Yeah, exactly. That's right, yeah.
No one
he just
touched
played
him,
the ball.
and then he played the ball, and the ref was like, okay.
That should be a knock on. I hate it when you're playing a game of touch rugby.
Yeah.
There's always that one guy who tries to do I didn't even touch you.
Yeah. But I mean, in league, when the whole thing is you go until you've been tackled. It's
Exactly.
Like, you can't just bitch out like that, because otherwise, why wouldn't we do that? Because if you do that to suck up the clock at the end of the game, that's a penalty.
Well, all I can say is whoever, was there to tackle him, he's just lucky it wasn't Niu Kore. I mean, we just watched Tyson Frizzell snap a guy's leg.
Yeah, someone should have come in and just dog-shotted him.
I don't know, maybe at halftime he needs to go to the old toilets with Kurt Mann or something just to get his second half stamina up.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's what he's missing since Kurt Mann's left. I saw another podcast earlier this week saying that the Warriors struggle with fast fullbacks like Kalen Ponga.
Yeah, and Pappy.
I was like, you know who else struggles with fast fullbacks like Kalen Ponga?
Everyone.
Fucking everyone. And you know who else is a player like Kalen Ponga? No one. So I don't know what kind of.
Well, I guess I see what they're saying there, because they've got Pappenhausen, who in the last 5 minutes set up 2 tries, which ended our Melbourne Storm game. But
okay.
The Warriors are mean against the real fat, slow fullbacks though. There are none. All fullbacks are fucking electric.
There is one, and we're playing him this week, and we will get into that very shortly as well. One other note that I had from the ground, Kurt Capewah, big fan of him. The crowd's a big fan of him. When he was announced, the crowd went absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
And I thought it was great that he's been so well received over here. He had a good game. He's never going to make a highlight, as Andrew Webster said this week. But I did notice the intangible stuff. You mentioned Ponga squatting down. He was looking gassed.
Yeah.
Never see that from Kurt Capewah.
No, he's a fitness freak.
He is a fitness freak. And got a bit of mongrel in him. When Bradman Best scored that try, one of his teammates, I don't know who, came over to congratulate him and took his mouth guard out and dropped it. And Kurt Capewell stomped on it and kicked it away.
Oh, wow. He's got that dog in him. I love that.
He got that dog in him. He's like, fuck you.
That's great, because I think he made like 50 tackles or something. He was a workhorse, and that's with this alleged rib injury he's got.
Yes, yeah.
They say he's nursing a rib injury, and that's why he hasn't been able to be as involved as he has. If that's true, and he's out there making 50 tackles, legend.
Yeah, absolutely. So overall, I thought that was a great game. Great to get 2 in a row. I think that's been the biggest feedback in the Warriors Mad Monday Munters group on Facebook.
Yep.
Has been, we need 2 in a row. This has been great.
And the other good thing too is we're still not quite clicking.
No.
So we're still getting wins against teams that were in the finals last year. The Knights were bloody good last year. We're getting wins against them. We're now 2-2. And once we're clicking, Chance is back and we're humming again. It's going to be excellent.
Yeah, this is all good stuff for the Warriors. So we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back to preview this weekend's match against the Rabbitohs. This week, Chris Key, the Warriors play the Rabbitohs. It's 5 p.m. on the Saturday.
Yeah.
Which is a hell of a time to play a game of rugby league on a weekend. I'm very much looking forward to watching that. Are you commentating that one?
Myself and Ben Hurley, 5 o'clock, Sky Sport 9. We'll see you there. Beautiful.
The team lists were named obviously on a Tuesday, as they often are. When we look at our team list, the biggest news is probably Te Maire Martin in at number 6. Obviously, Chance Nickel Klokstad as well. When you look at that team list, what stands out to you?
What stands out to me is probably Freddie Lussick back on the interchange again, even though I feel like Chanel's just shown how diverse and excellent he is.
Yes.
I mean, Freddie, he's a great player or whatever, and once again, it's like Andrew Webster, he knows more than I do, so there's got to be a reason for it.
Yes, I agree with you. However, the fact that Chanel played all of that time last week, the fact that he's been training at dummy half, the fact that he can cover however many different positions, and also the fact that they have copied and pasted the same team list for about 4 weeks straight. and they've only just changed it this week. Makes me think that is not how the bench will shape up.
This is, I agree with you, actually. And one thing I have to say about what's been quite annoying with the Warriors is their lack of transparency with their injuries.
Yeah.
So, for example, Kurt Capewah isn't in the side. I was listening to some other rugby league podcasts, and they didn't have a clue as to where he was.
Head knock. He's
failed
an HIA.
And I was just talking to the Pants Man, who is great analysis on rugby league. Would be great on a podcast, actually. He was like, oh, no, when they put the team list up, people were commenting. So the Warriors pinned a comment of their own at the top saying, which is like such a low-key way to do it, Capewah out with a head injury. You know what I mean? Like, just say, hey, these guys are out and this is the reason why.
Yeah, well, this is the thing about team lists. It's like, you don't have to, you can just name anything.
Well, like how they kept naming Wade Egan, even though they knew he was injured.
They knew he wasn't going to play. It's like, well, what does it matter to them? They don't care.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a thing that they have to do, that the league asks them to, so that our fantasy teams are a little bit more interesting. As you mentioned, Kurt Capewah out, Marata Niu Kore in. That's a pretty good, I mean,
I'm happy with that.
It's an embarrassment of riches, I think. The amount of players that we've got that can come in to bring people back.
Well, the thing is, with Capewah out, and you think, oh, yeah, there'd be some room on the bench. Like, there's still Bunty R4, Jazz Tivanga, Tom Ali, and Freddie Lussick. Like, that's still a solid-ish bench in terms of players that aren't there. You don't have Dylan Walker there, and Kurt Capewah's out.
I don't think Tom Ali plays this week.
You don't reckon?
I reckon he will be off the bench for Chanel Harris-Tavita.
So you think they'll carry Lussick and Chanel Harris-Tavita? Fuck, poor Bunty's going to have to get through so many minutes.
Yeah, I do think that's what's going to happen.
But what if a back rower goes down?
If a back rower goes down, Mitch Barnett goes out there, and then we have...
Plays the full 80.
Plays the full 80.
Jesus, I don't know about that, man. I reckon if they're going to do anything, it'll be Lussick to CHT, but I have no idea.
No, evidently I don't either. CNK back, that's probably the biggest news there. That's going to be a massive impact here on this game.
It will. How do you reckon we'll go against the Rabbitohs? They've obviously been struggling massively. Yes. They've got Whiten on the left side now, and I'm kind of waiting for them to start clicking.
Well, I think they won't click until Whiten's playing 6 for them. I think they've got a bit of a problem at the moment in their halves.
So you think you go Walker? So yeah, okay. So you preserve that left side, but bring Whiten in instead of Ilias.
Yeah, well, I mean,
right?
Ilias hasn't been named. He's in the reserves anyway, so.
I've literally got the team in front of me.
I think it's Cody Walker to halfback and then Jack Whiten at 6.
But you can't, because Whiten is a 6, right? He's a 5'8".
Well, I mean, yeah, that's where he played for the Raiders. But when he played Origin, he was playing. He's a big bastard.
Yeah, and he can play centre, he can play wing, he can play anything. But Cody Walker is, when he's at the top of his game, one of the best, if not the best, 5'8" in the game.
Yes,
so you can't shift him.
Well, you can, because you just changed the number on his back, and he's still the exact same guy.
But it's his ability to run to the left and link up with those guys, and now you're putting him on the other side of the field.
I put number 22 on him. I think he can still play just as well. You know what I mean? I think it's the same thing as we get carried away with...
well, hang on. Why don't you change the number on Whiten's back? Just put him at half.
Yeah, well, either
yeah, do that. I'm up for that, yeah.
What I'm saying is I feel like often we get a little, particularly the way league's played these days, it's similar to cricket where we look at a guy and we go, oh, no, he's just the T20 player. He's just a test player. So, okay, is the field the same size? Is the ball the same size? Is the bat the same size? Okay, because I've seen him crush it at T20. Don't tell me he can't play a test match.
Yes, but Cody's clearly strong attacking the left side. They had the best, one of the best attacking sides.
Can attack the left side.
Yeah, but he's more likely to be on the right side, isn't he?
Why?
Because that's the side of the field that he operates on. What I'm saying is just put Whiten at halfback. They're not going to do either of these things anyway.
No, they're not. But this is my test for everything is what would I want them not to do. I am so thankful that they've put him out at centre and he's not in the halves.
There's a bit of talk even of having Latrell come into the centre.
Because if Dean Hawkins walked into this room right now, I wouldn't be able to tell you who he was.
I did just have to look at the team list to go, who the hell is playing there? Oh, Dean Hawkins.
Dean Hawkins. So, yeah, it's going to be weird. The Bunnies did beat the Bulldogs last week. It was a bounce back for them. Do you think they'll take anything from that coming into this game? I loved, by the way, before you answer that, I'm going to answer it myself. I love the way that the Aussie pundits are talking about us now. Geez, the Rabbitohs have got a big challenge ahead of them this week against the Warriors.
Yeah.
Well, fucking A, they do.
I heard someone say that the Panthers and the Warriors are going to be the 2 toughest teams to play this year.
Yeah.
How good's that?
Get that India.
That guy was on meth, by the way, the guy that said that.
I was the guy just outside.
Yeah, just outside. Yeah, he's crazy.
I don't know. Do you think Do you think that Souths are properly in a tailspin and that the win over the Bulldogs was a win against over the Bulldogs? You can't read anything into it. Or do you think that's enough to spark them back?
No, it's not enough to spark them back.
Johnston's out.
What it is it's enough to make them spiral even harder if they lost that game. You know, it's not like, oh, we're back, baby, we beat the Doggies.
No.
And not like the Doggies have got a decent team on paper. They've still got a few things to work out. So no offense if you're a Doggies fan, but they aren't that great at the moment. What I think the Rabbitohs are is a team full of personalities of guys like Latrell, Cody Walker, actually even Whiten.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of blokes who they've got big personalities.
Matangi.
You have to know how to coach them.
Cam Murray.
And so when shit's going badly and there's a lot of heat on them and there's all these rumors about, you know, the coach has lost the dream and all this sort of shit, I feel like they are a team that would be massively affected by that just because of those personalities, you know?
I think that the South Sydney Rabbitohs look like a team that I would make on rugby league, on Stacey Jones Rugby League.
With no cohesion, but sick ass players.
No cohesion, and I've spent all of the salary cap on Latrell Mitchell, Cody Walker, and Jack Whiten.
And Cam Murray.
And then I just fill out the roster with
Dean Hawkins.
Dean Hawkins.
Stephen Hawkins.
And Tallis Duncan. And I wheel Stephen Hawkins out there. Make some midgets do mathematical equations on...
Run it straight, Manaia.
Off the back fence. And tell you what, Stephen Hawkins would be tough to put down off the back fence. I'll tell you that for nothing.
Can you not talk about putting down Stephen Hawkins, man? Come on, jeez.
Is he still alive?
I think he's dead.
He's dead?
Yeah, he is? Yeah, cool.
Adam just did the throat slitting thing.
Oh, brutal.
Oh, is that why they were allowed to slag him off when the whole Epstein Island thing came out? Because you can't defame the dead.
Oh, right. So you can go full. Okay.
Yeah, right. That's why you can say whatever you want about Robin Bain. Anyway, I digress. I think that the Warriors are going to be 3-2 after this week.
Same here.
Everyone has their power rankings. I don't know what the hell a power ranking is. It's like the fucking VB hard-earned index. Pull it out your ass. Everyone has them right up the top of the table now, the Warriors.
Should we make the 4 and 20 Scucky index?
Yeah, I think we should.
It's just like, Joey Manu's doing well. He's got a 74 on the Scucky index.
Who would be at the top of the Scucky index right now?
I reckon...
Might be Ponga. It's Roger after that weekend, I think.
Yeah, Roger. But Roger, I don't know if he's Scucky. He's too, like, take him home and meet your grandma and she'd love him kind of guy.
Yeah, right.
Whereas Ponga...
would burst into flames if he walked into a church.
Exactly. Cross that threshold, boom. Reece Walsh isn't even Scucky to me. He's too flashy, you know. Yeah. Scucky's like it's like Joey Manu's Scuck.
Joey Manu's a humble Scuck.
Yeah, humble Scuck.
Yeah.
So he's like a 74 on the Scucky meter. We'll work on that. That's a workshopper.
100%. All right. So we both think that this is going to be a win. The game again is on 5 p.m. on Saturday. Sky Sport 9. Yourself and Ben Hurley will be commentating that one, so make sure that you tune into that. It's a great time for a couple of beers and watch a bit of rugby league. Time for a quick break, and we'll be back with the Stonka of the round. All right, Chris, now it is time for the Stonka of the round! Tigers versus Eels. No one picked this to be a stonker, I think. This was it was out of control. It was a 1-point win. In the end, it was back and forth. It was the Monday night game, the Easter game.
That's right. It was the Easter game, last game of the round. And to be honest, it was one I'd circled as being a bit of a nothing game.
Yes.
Don't know why. But
so had I.
Yeah.
Because historically, the Tigers have been dog shit up until recently. And the Eels, I think, have been perennial underperformers.
Yes.
They had a great 2015, but I can't seem to find anything on the record as to what happened.
They were in the finals last season or the season before.
Oh, right, yeah.
But they just...
But what happened in 2015? I don't know. I keep Googling it and I'm like...
Oh, has it been...
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
In 2009, they had a banger as well. And I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, no, you're a big fan of them. I remember that, though.
Yeah.
This game, though, the Eels are a team that can either be excellent and knock over the Panthers or just shithouse. They weren't terrible. The Tigers just seem to have really sacked up. Are you buying this from the Tigers?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I completely
You're buying
am.
what they're selling.
Yeah, I am buying what they're selling.
Is it Benji?
We'll get into... I think it could be Benji. We will get into the SuperCoach ramifications of it all, but some of the best SuperCoach pickups this year have been from the Tigers, and that's because they sucked last year and now they're starting to come right. Uppy looks excellent. I think he's great. God, he throws himself into everything.
Yeah.
He does not miss tackles, and when they were interviewing him after the game, his face was just beaten to a pulp. He looked like, you know, those old-timey boxers, the pugilists back in the day.
with the really high pants.
With the high pants, yeah. And then they take the photo afterwards and they're all lumped and bumped. Yeah. That's what he looked like after that game.
Well, I think what he's done, which is awesome, is he's made Uppy captain, goal kicker, leader, spiritual leader. Look up to this dude. This is how we all operate.
You're our guy.
Yeah, this is the guy. This is who we model ourselves after, which is excellent because he is massively underrated, old Uppy. He's such a good player.
And I think we talked about this on the podcast last week. All of a sudden, you look up at some of the signings that they've made, and they look bloody good. Also, Benji was 100% right about this Lachlan Galvin kid.
Yeah.
He was excellent. Big bastard. He is a big unit.
For 18 years of age.
Yeah. And he just looks the goods. Hip drop, he was out for 10 minutes. He's now going to be out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But he came back on and I think won that game for them.
Yes.
Solo line break to a try assist to
Dream Buller.
Yeah, Dream the Dream Buller.
Even his, within the first 10 minutes, he'd put that great little kick through for Justin Olam, who looks to be fully healthy and raring to go again.
Yeah, so another massive signing as well for them.
The other thing, too, you forget because they never utilise them, is you look at their forward pack and it's like Isaiah Papali'i, who is just a beast.
Yeah.
John Bateman, who's pretty good. You've got Clemmer. They've got such sick forwards that hopefully Uppy and that they can now actually utilise, and they seem to be.
Yeah, they got that Seyfarth that came off the bench.
Alex Seyfarth.
He was great as well.
He's a psycho off the bench.
He is a psycho off the bench. I believe in them. I believe that they're starting to come right. They could have lost that game very easily, though.
Yeah.
Because they gave away a penalty right in the dying minutes, and Gutho just straight away was like, yep, I want to win this, stepped up, shanked it.
King Gutho,
and lost the game.
Well, he's not the best goal kicker, old Gutho.
Nah, he's not.
But he's obviously Moses is out.
He's not the best at anything, and that's his big drawback, is he is an elite fullback, but he doesn't have a thing that he does that you can hang your hat on and be like, he skins people one-on-one. He does this, he does that. No, he just does all that stuff.
Yeah, but
brilliantly.
What was could you name a certain thing that Cam Smith did that he could hang his hat on?
Played 500 games.
That's pretty sick. But he's the same though. He's just straight up across the board.
Yeah.
Top tier, but not number one.
Yes, yeah.
And
exactly.
so Gutho, the crazy passes he pulled off to set up a few tries and stuff, he was just a beast. He's his defense is probably one of the best at fullback in the entire competition.
Yes.
Such a good player. And he's actually the kind of player, and I remember the Eels saying last year they wanted an X-factor fullback, which is stupid. He's the kind of player who I would love to have at the Warriors rather than like a Reece Walsh, because he's all about defense and heart and, you know? So,
I've always said that too. I've always said that CNK's in the Gutho mold.
He is.
Also not afraid to experiment with the hair/facial hair configurations.
Well, last year he had that beautiful Sonic the Hedgehog slick back hair for a while.
Yeah, he had the slick back with like the undercut.
Yeah.
He'll go the mustache. He has gone the ponytail. He's gone the full bald. At the moment, he's rocking the kinner with the goatee.
It looked like he was full stone cold to me.
He looks like a video game character that's respecking every other week. And he's just like, now I'm going to strength build. Now I'm a bloody spellcaster.
Yeah. How is Elden Ring, by the way? Is it good?
It's going real good. And he's come back with a colossal greatsword. And I like that from him. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'd like to see a bit more of that from Rocco Berry. Our own Rocco Berry needs to go some sort of
crazy lid.
Yeah, crazy.
He needs a bit of personality on Rocco, eh?
Yeah, that's right.
His whole personality is just being solid AF.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blaze Talangi, you've got written here.
Yeah, well, that was a copy and paste issue from.
No, but Blaze Talangi, he is a carbon copy of Dylan Brown.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in any kind of racist way.
Yeah, it sounds pretty racist.
I mean, they're both about a 60 on the Skaki meter, but in terms of they chuck him straight into 5'8". Or was it halfback? And Dylan, I can't remember where they probably switched around actually. But his running game, his sidestep, he looks exactly like Dylan Brown. He is the goods, man.
Yeah, he is the goods. I wrote that down there, but I actually copied and pasted that from the SuperCoach segment because I think he is the goods in SuperCoach as well. So that was the stonker of the round. Let's get into SuperCoach now, though, Casey. Have you made your trades for the week?
I have, and just quickly before we do, quick plonker of the round: Dragons v Manly.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Because I captain Tom Turbo. I've got Olaquatu on my team. I've got Luke Brooks. Tommy Talau, and I was sat down. I recorded the game, didn't check my phone because I wanted to watch every second of it, and it was the worst game of rugby league I've ever watched.
It was and I was watching it too, thinking this could be a stonker, but
it
just never got out of third gear. But
just dropped Tom Turbo dropped the ball like 4 times.
I know, and he looked like he didn't want to be there.
It was weird, eh?
He looked like he just didn't want to be playing rugby league that evening. But it was a tight finish away from being the stonker of the round.
Yeah.
Because there was so much back and forth bullshit that it's like if it had a good finish, that would have been a good game.
I was, but the problem is I actually got told off by my wife for going, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Because I did it like 4 times because it was just shit. And I was just like, this is the worst of it. She's like, I don't care. Can you be quiet? It's like 10 o'clock and my parents are trying to sleep. I'm like, fine. Take his side.
Her parents
we were down at her place. Yeah,
right. Yeah. Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking hear from you guys either. All right, so that's
okay. Supercoach.
Plonker of the round. Supercoach this week. I think the biggest stories for me, Lachlan Galvin. If you didn't get on him, he's now out for 2 weeks. So I personally was looking at getting on him. I think most people would have last week when he made his money, as he was sort of
the good thing about
bargain basement.
The good thing about Lachlan Galvin is he's only played 2 games, 3. Let me just check him. Oh, of course.
I believe he's played 3.
The Wi-Fi here is so garbage.
It is
okay, so he has played 3 games. He's still $311,000. His break even is -46.
Yeah.
So he has got another $100,000 easy. He could even be a season-long keeper.
That's right. So you've got another 2 weeks now to get him.
Yeah. So just wait 2 weeks and then downgrade someone, earn some more cash, bring him in, because I think he is one of those guys who, if you're serious about it, is actually a must to have.
Yeah, I think so too. And there's a lot of people who are going to be later on in the season trying to buy back Cleary, trying to buy back Hines, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be buying Cleary as soon as he's back in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm going to be trading Galvin out to get him. So what? He's 18. He makes his debut. Scores of 50, 72, 66.
Yeah.
He's a top level. He's doing better than Dylan Brown is.
Yeah, and he's doing what Sam Walker did when Sam Walker burst onto the scene.
That's
the
right.
difference that makes it a bit more believable, I think, for me, is he is a big bastard. And so where Sam Walker needs Jared White-Hargreaves standing beside him,
Yeah.
Lachlan Galvin's fine.
No, he's sweet as. Yeah. Great defensively as well. Pretty hearty dude. The second thing you've got written down here is, once again, Blaze Talangi, who's starting in the halves for the Eels. Moses is out for a wee while.
Centre wing he's eligible for.
He's centre wing and 5'8". He's got a break even of -55. He's scored, I think, 50-something and 50-something the last 2 weeks. Everyone has to bring. He is $204,000.
Yeah.
Bring him in this week. Sell someone. Downgrade to him.
You will have a Jacob Gagai. You'll have a
You'll have an absolute scrub on you. Or if you've still got like Ben Trebojevic, for example, who's plodding along now.
Yeah, he's made his money.
Yeah, get rid of him. Bring this fella in. Next week, he's guaranteed, even if he scores 1 point, he's going to go up by like 60 grand.
Can't he score like -40 points and still make money?
Yeah, yes, he can. He's still going to go up. So
Yeah.
bring Blaze Talangi in. If you don't have him,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
And the next thing that I had on here is the fullback roulette game. Are you playing it? Is it too early in the season to be chasing after this kind of thing?
I get Ponga back. Have you got rid of him?
I got rid of him.
What are you doing?
Because he was losing money. And I also didn't believe in him for all the same reasons that
Yeah. So after watching him at the weekend, what are you thinking now?
I still don't believe in him. That's why I put a question mark next to bring Ponga back.
He got 107.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were just talking about how you thought he didn't look
Yeah.
like he was into the game.
And he got 107, and that's him building up his fitness.
Okay.
And against a really strong defensive side of the Warriors. I think if you don't have Ponga, I mean, I've just kept Ponga and Trebojevic. To be honest, the one I'm a bit iffy about is Trebojevic.
He's about to lose more money, yeah.
He is, but for some reason my view is I don't care about the money in fullback. I care about
Because
having
you're going to keep him.
the guys who can go 150 on any given day. And I think he is one of those. And like Tom's still 19th best fantasy player. So 81, 50, 86, 55. Like they're
Yeah.
not terrible, but the issue for Tom is he's got Panthers, then the Warriors.
Yeah.
But then he's got a whole heap of easier teams.
The problem that I have is I've got other fires to put out, so I can't be rolling the dice on fullbacks at this stage
You just need 2 guys who you know will get at least 50.
and then leave them there. Yeah, I know.
yeah.
But that's not
So who are
worth
you
it.
rocking at the moment?
Turbo and a Nuffy, who actually this week is Kale
Ero.
who went bang over the weekend, left him on my bench, didn't play him. I don't think anyone saw that coming, to be fair. But he's got the bye this week. But he scored 97.
Also, I think he might not be back in the side again.
Yeah.
Because Talakai will go back to centre. I can't remember who Talakai, maybe it was Teague Wilton or someone.
Talakai was in the second row.
Yeah.
They've got the bye this week. If you wanted to clear up some cash and you had picked up Mulitalo, you could do that to get Ponga back. Trust me, I've looked. because he's made his money as well. He has a sky-high break-even, and he's not one of those guys who you're just going to keep forever. If you wanted to go him to Val Holmes, if you don't have Val Holmes, that's worth it as well.
Let me just have a geese here. So they've got Souths, who, to be honest, he could score after the bye.
All right.
They're playing Souths, who, to be honest, he could score decent against. So
the other one that really interests me is DWZ.
Same here, now that Chance is back.
back.
My eyes lit up at that. I don't want Chance because he's not centre wing eligible anymore.
Chance isn't.
No, because last year he was fullback and centre wing, and so I was all about him. But now it's just Dallin.
And also eye test stuff. Dallin took a hit up last week where he wound up so fast that the crowd was going apeshit before he even went into contact. He got smashed. And he stood up and he was laughing his ass off.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. And the crowd was laughing as well. Everyone was into it. It was like, that was funny. And he just did that for his own entertainment, it felt like.
So I reckon centre wing, right?
Yeah.
Guys who you should be aiming to finish the season with, as you said, Val Holmes, Dallin's in there, I reckon.
Yeah.
Old dickhead from, old guy I don't really like from the Dragons, Zach Lomax.
Yeah.
Because he kicks for them and scores heaps of tries and stuff, so he's solid. Ruben Garrick.
Yeah.
These are all that top tier, and Mulitalo is second tier. Yeah. So if you can get rid of him, he's made some cash, you're right. He's actually got a kind of a hard run coming up too. If you can get rid of him and then somehow make your way to a top tier player, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. And then captains, who are you looking at captaining this week?
All right, here's the hot goss. Apparently it's torrential rain this weekend, especially Friday night. So
in the entire of Australia.
So Kalen Ponga, who is playing against the Dragons, and I was like, here we go, captain baby. Apparently it's 70 mils of rain or something that night in that area. Okay. So I'm vice captaining Kalen Ponga, and I'm captaining Olaquatu because if it is pissing with rain, I think Manly will just do heaps of crash over plays.
Right. 10-man rugby.
So I'll do the vice captain loop because apparently it's just super soggy, so I'm too afraid to just go straight out on Ponga. Yeah. He could have a shitter.
Yeah, and I'm doing a similar thing because Dylan Brown is all of a sudden the only operational half for the Eels.
Yeah, true.
I am going to captain him, and then I'm going to VC one of the guys that plays on those Friday night games.
Early,
which I think may actually be Val Holmes.
When is the Eels playing?
I think they're playing last
Sunday.
Yeah, Father's Day.
Hell yeah! You could even vice captain Roger or something against the
That's what I've got at the moment.
Against the Rabbitohs.
I don't know if that's going to stay that way, but yeah. Yeah, I was thinking maybe even a Dom Young.
Against the Doggies.
Against the Doggies. There's a few different ways that you could play it, but I think if you've got Dylan Brown, Raiders versus Eels last game of the round, and you're feeling a little frisky, try the old VC loop. Don't ask me how it works because I have to ask Adam every other week.
Here's a few things to think about, all right? Taylor May, you got him?
Taylor May?
Did you drop him?
I never had him.
So you never had the Panther. Okay, so
I did have him. I traded him out,
50% of SuperCoaches had him to start the season.
Yeah.
The reason he's had two shockers is because the opposing centre's gone down on the other side. The last two games, they've had to put a back row out there, and so they've been going to Isaac Tungle, who's been having so they've just been not using the left wing.
Right.
That's not going to happen probably this week. So I think Taylor May is a guy who you just wait for him to score a heap because he looks so good the first couple of games of the round. So my advice is don't drop him. I'm keeping him. Okay. I was going to drop him.
Yeah.
How about this? Angus Crichton starting for the Roosters.
Yeah.
400 and something. Low 400s.
Yeah.
Not now, but watch, because he is a bona fide $700,000 plus SuperCoach player.
Yeah.
If he starts and plays 80 at the Roosters, who are ticking along, eventually he could be like a you got to get on him type of guy.
Do you put much stock into the fact that he fried himself in Amsterdam in the off-season?
Oh, I bought massively into that rumour. But he's played 2 games off the bench and looked pretty good when he's come on. But I'm just thinking, I'm just looking for value. If you can get on him, once again, don't do it this week. Wait a couple of weeks, see how he goes.
Fallen superstar.
He could be back in a big way, and it could be a real cheap way.
Joey Tarpanu's like that for me.
Yeah.
He's down around the 400s, and he can be one of those premier. Yeah.
The front rower.
You know him. And I think he's one of those guys, because he hasn't been putting up numbers. But anytime you can find those sort of fallen superstars, I guess it's a bit of a pod.
What's he been up to? Why is he so cheap? Is he injured or something?
He was out to start the season. And I think the mullet probably has a bit to do with it. I wouldn't mind seeing that come back in. So those are our picks, our pickups, our keep cuts.
Captain. Hang on, let me just check one last thing. Oh, here's a question for you. See if you're interested in this.
Yeah.
You know Jaden Brayley,
I know him well.
the reserve. He was reserve hooker for the Knights. He's had a shocking run of injuries.
Yeah.
He has been named to start for the Knights this week. I think you'll wait and see once again, like Angus.
I had him to start the season, but then he was out.
A couple of rounds in, you see if he's starting to build up his minutes and play well. You trade whoever your second hooker is. If you've got like a Lussick or a Danny Levi or something, you could upgrade to Jaden Brayley, who was the captain before he got injured of the Knights, and you could have a starting, potentially even 80-minute hooker by the end of the season in your reserve role, who could be worth about $500,000-$600,000.
Yeah.
Depending if he stays healthy. It's just something to think about.
Yeah.
Not yet.
No, because
Keep
the
an
other
eye.
thing is Lussick is an 80-minute hooker at the moment. So
Yes, but Brayley is, when he was at the height of his game, he was like 50, 60 points a game base.
Yeah.
So just something to think about anyway. That's what I'm looking at doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, things change between now and when the first game happens. So check the Mad Monday Munters group. There's a lot of consolation going on in there, and a lot of tips and tricks as to how to actually play SuperCoach. Because last week, Chris, we both said that you couldn't roll back a boost. You can.
Yeah, you just don't. Yeah. Actually, that was a good clarification. If you've clicked boost on your app, but you only make 2 trades, that boost just goes back to you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't know that, and I feel like that's a recent change. And I was corrected on the Mad Monday Munters group. Just quickly, before we end, I wanted to bring back a segment that I used to do a long time ago. I think we used to do it on like a weekend show, on like a Saturday or something.
You and I randomly started doing a weekend show in 2018 or 19.
Yeah.
And we had this segment, and it was hot.
Yeah, and it was hot. And so I have poured over the numbers for the Warriors season so far. And there were a few things, because I'm the numbers guy here at the ACC. There were a few things that stood out to me. So I wanted to run you through stats to impress the ladies.
Oh, yeah.
Kurt Capewell's 48 tackles over the weekend would take him to 140 for the season, eclipsed only by the luscious locks of our lock, Tohu Harris. Wade Egan has made 50 tackles this season, but is yet to miss one. Through 5 rounds, AFB has 5 offloads without recording an error. Of the five players who have played every minute of this season so far, RTS is the only one who has not conceded a penalty.
Oh, my God.
DWZ has run for 644 metres, which is twice the length of the Sky Tower, or 5 times the height of the Huntly Power Station.
Wow.
You'll love this next one. Sean Johnson leads the team in goal kick percentage at 100%. Second is Luke Metcalf at 80%. And third is Bunty R4 on 0%. He has not attempted a conversion, but is next in line alphabetically. This also makes Bunty first on the list of most successful field goals. And that is stats to impress the ladies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's good. If there are any ladies listening, consider yourself impressed.
Yeah, 50 minutes into an NRL podcast. Shout out to you. All right, that'll do us for this week. Chris will be back with another episode of Mad Monday podcast next week. Enjoy the commentary.
Thank you. Saturday night, 5 o'clock, Sky Sport 9. See you there.
Woo! Enjoy the game. See you guys next week. Hoorah.
See ya.